Carl here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. Album review time, and it is very exciting stuff. It's a new Blind Guardian album, one of my favourite bands, not just power metal bands, one of my favourite bands overall. Although I didn't really get into them till quite late into their career, when I discovered them, I was absolutely sold. Nightfall and Middle-earth, of course, is an absolutely incredible album, up there as one of my all-time favourites, and certainly up there as my favourite Blind Guardian album. But that's not to suggest that I didn't like anything else around it. In fact, I've been following and loving their career since. The last album, Beyond the Red Mirror, was something I actually thoroughly enjoyed. So going into this new album, The God Machine, and hearing things about it being heavier or more of an amalgamation of what Blind Guardian have done over their career, I was very, very intrigued. You know, part of me wants Nightfall and Middle-earth Part 2, but then another part of me goes, no, don't be silly. That is its own thing. Let it be its own thing. Let's see what they deliver here. And thankfully, that's effectively what they do. They do absolutely deliver on this album, and for me, at least, it's incredibly crowd-pleasing stuff. Of course, if you don't know, legendary German power metal band, that is Blind Guardian. The God Machine is their 12th studio album and first regular studio album in 7 years following Beyond the Red Mirror in 2015. The God Machine will be released on September 2nd, 2022 via Nuclear Blast. Now, admittedly, it does feel like forever since we've had an album full of new Blind Guardian music, so the release of the God Machine is one reason to rejoice. Do you need another? How about this simple fact? It's an excellent release. A combination of the power that the Blind Guardian of old held and the power that modern Blind Guardian exude. God Machine is not a throwback to their earlier, heavier days, but it's certainly a nod to that specific time period. And you see that as we begin with the wild and frantic Deliver Us from Evil. The speed of the guitars and drums makes it clear this album from here is going to be a more intense listen than we're used to. Yet it is still very much a Blind Guardian album, and the collective wonder of their harmonised vocals, a memorable chorus, and a screeching guitar solo stands out strongly. Things just get better and better from here though. Firstly with Damnation, a beast of a track that is suitably epic, but so very fast and so very heavy too. Then with Secrets of the American Gods, a track that has a ton of pomp about it. Blind Guardian deliver grandness on a level not heard from them in a long time, while also being suitably and enjoyably heavy too. This track for me is a must listen, as it's where the legends mix massive orchestration and metal in their own unique way. Up there as one of my favourite tracks on the album. I think if you're watching this review, you've probably heard this track already, seeing as it's been out for a little while. And it's a very tough ask for Violent Shadows to follow that, such a mind-blowing track before. But thanks to a thumping and energetic pace, it more than delivers too. Blind Guardian are at their most intense sounding. Something that bleeds into Life Beyond the Spheres, even if this one is a slower pace, darker, and more bombastic offering. One of my favourite words to use when it comes to power metal is bombastic, and I think this track here really nails that feeling. Now, the question is, and I started to wonder at this point, is this the best Blind Guardian album since Nightfall in Middle-earth? It certainly feels like the most complete album that they've done in some time. And even more proof of that comes in the form of Architects of Doom, where you get lovely harmonising and a wicked guitar solo, and Let It Be No More, where you get a really, really welcome taste of melody at this point in the album. We then get the penultimate track, Blood of the Elves, one of the more startling, fast and heavy tracks on the entire album. The instruments are on fire, and even the vocals get downright growly at times, which is really unexpected and very, very cool. It's very interesting and very, very exciting, which is crazy when you consider it's the penultimate track that it's rebuilding that energy up. Worrying up though, if you're kind of more into the classic Blind Guardian, the chorus is right there for you. It will make you laugh out loud with joy just how classic Blind Guardian it is. Which makes Destiny a finale, and what a finish it is too. Perhaps the most unusually structured track in the album. There's some progressive ideas, some outright headbanging moments, and plenty of that Blind Guardian lavishness we all love so very much. The God Machine, it is an excellent album. One of Blind Guardian's best and certainly the finest of their modern output. A reinvigorated Blind Guardian is a very exciting prospect indeed. So that makes this a must listen. Now, one of the things I think is going to keep coming around to this is the comparisons, not necessarily musically how it sounds, but more to the quality of what Blind Guardian done in the past and what Blind Guardian are doing here. That's where the comparatives to something like Nightfall and Middle-earth come from. Not because they sound in any way similar, I don't think they really do at all. It's more the fact that that's arguably the best Blind Guardian album ever released. So the fact that we're talking about the God Machine and referencing that album should give you some idea as to how strong this album is. It is more complete, it feels proper, it feels put together really, really well. It feels like it flows fantastically, probably better than Beyond the Red Mirror did. And I really, really like that album, but that's kind of why I look at the God Machine and I'm saying like this is probably the best album since Nightfall back in the day. I don't think it's a divisive album. I don't think it's going to confuse Blind Guardian fans. I think it's not necessarily even a great entry point for new fans. I think it's such a great combination of everything this band are capable of and also kind of where they are at this point in their careers now, which is also really fucking cool to hear. I think this is going to be an album that grows and grows and grows. The more you listen to it, the more time you spend. And I reckon in a year's time, after the dust is well and truly settled, this will be reflected on as generally one of the best albums they've ever released. You ain't got too long to wait for this one. September 2nd, 2022, via Nuclear Blast. You know what to do. Check this one out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?